Hi, everybody, and welcome to Discipleship Debrief for today. And we're going to be continuing our study about following Jesus, being a disciple. And this uh, portion is one that is this special to me. I I have watched this series before we ever presented it to the church, and so, watching it all, there's all of these things are kind of in your head, and then also as most going back to school, so there were some things that I've been studying as well alongside. And so this particular lesson, I've actually preached it several ways in studying. There's been ways the text just came alive, and some of the same points that were brought out in this study um, are just really, really good, and just make the text come alive. The portion that that this lesson deals with is Mark 6, uh, and that whole account where Jesus walks on the water. Peter gets out of the boat, and he takes his eyes off Jesus. He sinks, but then Jesus picks him up, says, "Oh, you have little faith," and they end up um, at the end of the storm. And that's kind of what we want to talk about. But Mark 6:45 and 46, and Mark uses this word a lot in his gospel in the King James, straight away or right away, immediately. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go unto the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people. So he sent them to Bethsaida, which is um, a short distance by boat. And there was a storm, and Jesus uh, sent them away, and he departed into a mountain to pray. So they get in the middle of a storm. Now, a lot of people say, well, they were fishermen. They should have been used to it. Well, what you have to understand is in the ancient world, they didn't have National Geographic and Jacques Cousteau and all this underwater technology that they could see what was under there, and it was scary for them. Um, People in that time did not go swimming for fun because they thought there were things in there that could eat them, and they did not go into the sea for recreation. It was for a job. So they were scared. Jesus comes walking on the water, but before that, in the storm, he's on a mountain and he can see them. And so, the lesson for us is even in the storms, he is there. Even when we don't feel him, he is there. He is watching. He is with us. And, we always want to focus on Peter getting out of the boat and then sinking. Well, Peter was following his rabbi. So we don't know what was in Peter's mind, but in their tradition, if you followed your rabbi, if your rabbi did it, you did it. And so he just said, I'm going to come out there. Most Jewish audiences reading that, they would scratch their heads and wonder why the rest of the people didn't get out of the boat, why the rest of the disciples didn't get out. And so, the best part of the story though is not walking on the water. It's when they get to Genneseret at the end, and Genneseret was, I believe, it was at least a couple miles in the wrong direction than where Jesus told them to go. And so the storm had rerouted them into where God had really wanted them to go in the first place. So what we can remember, what we can glean from this rather, is that God has a purpose in everything, and through the storms of life, we must remember that He is always there, and that there is a purpose for every storm, even if God did not cause it, if it was caused by other people's choices or sinful consequences or other people's sinful choices. He always can work things out, and he has a purpose in the storm. And they ended up in Gennesaret. There was much healing. There was a lot of things done that showed that Jesus was the Messiah. And so, no matter what we go through, no matter what we face, when we are following Jesus, even through the storms, we may not end up where we think we're going, but we will always end up in a place where we will be stronger and we will see God glorified. And He always has a plan that will benefit us in some way, whether it be on this side of eternity or our legacy that we leave on the other side of eternity, on how we handled the storm and how we glorified Him through and after the storm. So until next time, love God, love others, and remember, in the times of storm, He is always there, and He has a Genneseret waiting just for you. God bless you.